talk to Arty a little bit more, to learn a little bit more about Subodh's, background. We were just chatting. She said, I didn't know that much about his earliest interventions because
I'm the younger sister. Myth-busting alert here. I'm actually 3 years younger. That's what gives me my youthful
yes,
glow.
but it's wild.
This is my Subodh wrinkles.
It's wild because Ben is younger than Abby, and Abby, my oldest first child, was the one on the spectrum. So, Ben grew up in therapy rooms and meeting kids with differences and sitting in the OT room for 2 hours waiting for his sister to come out.
That's been my whole life too. I went to every therapy with my mom and my brother because she couldn't just leave me at home, so I would just go along with them. Subodh was actually nonverbal until he was around 6 years old. Wow. And when he was around 5, they wanted to communicate, so they taught him American Sign Language. And so they would take him to classes. My mom would take me, and I was just this little 2-year-old baby, toddler, and I was picking up the same signs.
Oh, wow.
So I learned how to sign as well when I was a baby.
So Subodh didn't speak until he was 6.
6, yeah.
Did
I
he
know.
have speech
And he
prior?
cannot stop talking now. I swear, try to make him stop talking, he will not.
My favorite thing with Subodh is we go to these events, we go to different events,
Yeah.
and Subodh gets in the room, but gala takes off, and he's just mingling with everyone.
Yeah.
Hi, how you doing? Where you from? What's your story?
He wants to meet everyone in the room now.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
But isn't that interesting for parents who are dealing with kids who are nonverbal?
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
I would say, honestly, I know that there's a lot of controversy about ABA and everyone's experience is very different. I will say that ABA was really positive for Subodh, that they're the reason he even started talking in the first place. Do your research, but also try everything. My parents tried everything.
We did too.
Everything.
Yeah, we did.
There was a therapy, hyperbaric chambers my brother did. That's not doctor recommended or anything like that. It was just pseudoscience, they say.
Yes.
But it really helped him. It got his mind active, and I would just say not to just trust one source or the general zeitgeist on an idea of something. Just try it, and if it works, then who knows what could happen.
I used to say back in the day that as a therapy, if they told me I should roller skate naked down Ventura Boulevard, I would have done that.
Yeah.
Clearly, thank God no one actually told me to do that. But I was in that place. Whatever it was, I was desperate to try things because for Abby's autism, she had random words. She was very echolalia. She repeated TV talk. She said words and phrases that made no sense to me. I couldn't figure out what it was. But the ABA brought her out and helped her access her own mind. Yeah. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy about it, and I'm sorry for anyone that's had a bad experience.
Exactly.
Here's what I think. Some types of autism do not require ABA.
Exactly.
Because they're already talking, they're already engaged, their issues are different.
You just never know until you try, right?
You have to try everything.
Just try everything.
We tried floor time therapy, which is a little more progressive approach, let the child lead. But if the child is isolative, how can they lead? Yeah. So Abby learned to hide in the closet when the girl came. It was actually quite brilliant. She'd see the girl with the clipboard. She was 3 years old. And she would just toddle into the master bedroom, go in the closet, and close the door. And I could hear the therapist going, I see Abby's in the closet, isolating and in the dark. Maybe Abby wants to come out and play with a Barbie. Hour goes by, and lady has to leave. And she worked circles around them.
Yep.
So she knew how to avoid.
Yeah.
And that's why ABA came in with a open door. With a reward-based approach.
Yes. And that's really effective for Subodh. He doesn't do structured ABA anymore, but he responds so well to positive rewards and all these different things. That still works really well for him. But as you said, everyone's experience is different. Yeah. If it didn't work, then ABA is not for them.
Did he go to an autism school or gen ed?
He went to public school. He did special ed courses when he was younger, but in high school, he actually went full regular ed classes.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
But he was in special ed for most. Yes?
Oh, she's out there.
Yes.
She's here.
What's up, Abby?
Want to come swimming with us?
She's gonna in a little bit, but we're filming right now. We'll be out in a little bit.
That's so sweet.
Very sweet. But that's fascinating. He went to gen ed. So Abby was actually pulled out of gen ed. She had she was trying to be mainstreamed, and she had an aide and she couldn't do it. By the time she got to third grade, we could see that there was an issue with her limited focus because of her sensory needs.
Sure, yeah.
So it was feeding into itself. So that's when she went to the autism school. So she was in an autism school the rest of her education.
And
yeah,
it worked for her.
Well, that's the thing that's the hardest is, I think, there is no path. So you have to create the path. You, the parent or caregiver.
That's perfectly said. It's so true.
And because of that, I was noticing Abby and thinking she's not comprehending or absorbing this gen ed stuff.
Yeah.
She's in a different time-space continuum with her awareness. She needs life skills, and I kept thinking, it's who she is when she walks in the room. That was what I said to myself all that time. It's who she is when she walks in the room. And I want her to be the best she can be. So after 8th grade, she went full vocational. She didn't even go at the autism school. She was not in the general ed autism school. Mm-hmm. She went vocational from 8th grade on. And I'm so glad for her type of autism, I'm so glad I made that choice. Yeah. Then there's other people who have incredible academic potential.
Yeah, he was such a superstar with math. Right. He even got a commendation from the high school.
Wow.
He went to some gold award. I forgot what it was called, but it was a gold award in math.
Wow.
So of course he struggled with subjects like English and history, but like any of the liberal arts subjects he struggled with. And, but he had AIDS, which was great, and they really helped him keep up. And the fact of the matter is that people, like his advisors or his staff, they didn't even believe he would even graduate high school at all.
Seriously.
And now granted, he's 36, a little later than most, but now he's on track to graduate with an associate's degree, a college degree. I mean, it's remarkable. And what the most amazing part of that, he did the college part all on his own.
Did he really?
We have not touched this aspect of it at all. He goes to financial aid to get his grants or whatever, scholarships. He does that on his own. He gets his own textbooks. He studies. He follows the course materials. My parents and we're completely uninvolved.
That's quite
He even
impressive.
has a college advisor, and he consults with her, and that's it.
Wow.
So the fact that he's doing this start to finish on his own and completing it, it's just beyond our
Oh gosh, that's so impressive. It's so impressive.
It's
wow.
so cool.
Yeah, no, Abby's not in that place. But
Yeah.
like I said,
everyone's different, right?
I feel like that
she's thriving so well doing what she's doing.
In a whole different way, though. Isn't it interesting?
Yeah.
You've got a non-speaking, non-verbal adult that needs 24-hour care, and then you have one that's the valedictorian of the high school in the same pocket.
To try to compare autism is just impossible.
It's just to say, if I was an employer and I knew that someone was what I call high intelligence, profoundly affected non-speaking, but high intelligence, now I know what they're capable of. And I think there's a lot of high intelligence people that aren't necessarily finding a place because it's misunderstood.
Yeah.
Even though you can work around non-speaking, non-verbal, you can work around that if you have that capability. But if you need 24-hour care, now you're over here. You have a different area of how your life's going to go and what services can be provided, just as if you're low support needs, but you are internally struggling with organization and things like this. Those services have yet to even be creative.
Vastly different
but
needs,
they're so different. That's why I'm saying spectrum is a cop-out.
Yeah.
But it's not, and when I say this, I know there's people out there that will hear me say, that means low support needs doesn't need any help. And that's the opposite of what I'm saying. That is the opposite of what I am saying. I'm saying the support you need hasn't been created yet because it's too generalized.
Yeah.
Abby's obvious. Abby's always been obvious.
Right.
Abby was diagnosed against my will. Hello. I thought the doctors were wrong. I fought it. I told everyone they were wrong. I was kind of a bitch. Kind of bitchy about it, It was clear she was struggling so much. But when you don't have obvious external affective autism presenting, that means you need different services that have yet to be created because it's new. Yeah. We are finally taking people who formerly were diagnosed as weird or odd or socially this or ostracized and saying they have neurological processing differences that fall into the spectrum. Here's the services we're now going to create in the school setting. Wouldn't that be amazing? That to me is the biggest divide we have going right now. And I wish, that's why I've said this before, and I don't know how I can say it without making someone feel like they're left out. I'm saying autism should be the umbrella. And then under it, we can have multiple different sort of areas. So we are talking apples to apples.
It should be maybe more needs-based than it should be about just the name of the categorization, right?
It could be both, but one could mean the other, because if someone says you're diagnosed internalized autism, then we know it's probably low support needs, we probably don't need speech, we certainly don't need ABA, that's over here. So of course we now know, oh, I'm the person helping the low support needs, ABA is not right for them.
Yeah.
But right now we don't know. And parents don't know. Why? Because the language is spectrum, one word, you figure it out.